feels good to just make progress, even if you don't complete the project right then. Like, it feels good to at least get some part of it done and feel like it just feels fulfilling to be like, cool, I made some progress in that today, and I'll do some more of it next time I have some time.
I am so excited to talk to you guys about how you collaborate together. So I'm just going to jump right into it. And like, I want to know all the stuff. Like, how do you guys work together? What it's like to collaborate, and work artistically with your life partner?
That's a really good question that I think that I'm still trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Because it changes a lot.
We'll figure it out like right now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we started like doing covers of songs when we were like 15. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah.
And of course Wes can play everything and anything. So but he's self-taught, right? Would you say you're self-taught?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I had guitar lessons as a kid, but they tried to teach me how to read music, but it stressed me out too bad. So I gave up on that, and I learned how to play some like pop songs, but that was as far as that went. And then I gave up on the lessons. But yeah, so I just figured everything else out myself.
Yeah.
You didn't like become Britney Spears or anything?
No, not Britney Spears.
That's funny. No, I think that so like we started doing covers together, and then gosh, I think it was just since we both didn't know technical terms for things, I think the communication was really figure out. But we power through it. We powered through it. I'd be like, I need to sound more like, and Wes will be like, what are you saying? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that does seem to be a lot of it.
Yeah.
Is the end goal is the same, but the language that we speak to get there is different.
Yeah.
So we have to figure out what each other are talking about.
Right.
To get where we're trying to get.
But I don't even think that we understood the gap that was. I don't even think we knew what that meant for us. We didn't know what our disconnect was. We just knew that we couldn't translate it to each other, which was really, really funny because we listened to all the same stuff for the most part. Like we listened to a lot of the same genres and whatever. But so needless to say, anyway, moving past that, we started doing covers when we were 15. And then we went all through high school together, doing the same classes, college together, doing the same major, then working together.
Did you met in high school?
Or yeah, well, we met when we were in 7th grade.
7th grade, okay.
Yeah. So, but then we really kind of chose the same career path. And then we didn't just create music. I mean, we were in the kitchen, like running kitchens together and doing stuff like that. So it's like when you say how you collaborate, it's like in which department, because it's like we do it in so many different fields, I feel like.
Well, now, Wes, you're a drummer by trade, right? Is that mainly what you do?
Yeah, I guess so at this point. Guitar was my main one for a long time. And then I started playing drums when I was maybe 14-ish. Maybe it was before that, maybe around 12. And then but once I graduated high school, my parents bought me a drum kit. And that's when I sort of like gave up on guitar for a long time. And I started only playing drums. And then I played drums in one band, and then that band broke up. And then the next band is drums as well. And the current project is drums. But in the current stage of my band, I am writing and recording all of the instruments myself. But we have a band that plays with us. So like I still play drums when we play shows, but on the record, it's all me doing all of it.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, last time Jessie was on the show, she spoke all of your accolades and how you play. Yes, everything. I think you said he could pick up just about anything and play it. I mean, I'm amazed.
Yeah. It makes me laugh even when he's like, I can't do this. I wrote this part and it's too hard for me. And I'm like, no, it's not. You wrote it, so you can do it. It's fine. Just do it.
But that comes back to the not having real lessons and real training and figuring it out myself, is that I can come up with a part and play a part that I think sounds cool. But then if someone who actually knows like music theory and knows what they're talking about asks me to explain it, I have no idea. And it takes me a long time to figure out how to explain that to someone who actually does speak that language.
Do you feel like that holds you back any more, more maybe mentally anxiety wise than actually hold you back? Because I feel like you could probably do just about anything, but I know something like that might hold me back where I'd be afraid to talk about it with somebody because if they were formally trained, you know?
For sure. Yeah. For a long time, I told her and everyone else that like I can't write melodies was the sort of big phrase that I would use. But basically, like guitar parts, any sort of like stringed instrument or melodic instrument, I would just basically told myself and everyone else, I can't write that because I don't know how to speak that language. I can't read music. So I didn't even try because it stressed me out too much. I was like, I'll just write drum parts. That's easy because there's no melody to that. I don't have to know really a lot of music theory to do that. But then things happen, and then I get put in a position where I'm like, I probably need to just start writing guitar parts now and get over myself. So then I just did it. And then after I did one song that worked, I was like, I guess it doesn't really matter if I speak that language properly or know how to explain it.
Did you find it was easy to learn once you tried and got into it? And
I mean, I still don't even know how to really explain it to people. Like just earlier today, I was having to take videos of me playing our new songs that I wrote to teach the other guys in the band because I couldn't write them and I couldn't write charts or anything. I was like, I'll just have to take videos of me playing it and then I can show them how to do it. But as far if they were to just like be like, oh, just draw me a chart, like I would have no clue.
right. Well, that's so interesting though. I mean, I love because I think everybody comes at it differently. And like I can't read sheet music. But I can hear the different notes, but I can't translate that, for anything. And I know some people play by ear, and don't do any of that kind of stuff. So it's very interesting the difference there. Jesse, were you able to like how when you guys first started working together, were you able to encourage him in that, or did you have more of a background in that, or did you guys kind of have to learn some of that together? Like, how does that work?
Um, well, I always tell Wes that he can do it if he wants to do it. I think that he's very hard on himself, which I relate to because I can also be very hard on myself. But sometimes it makes us not want to try, and sometimes like he said, he was put in a position where he had no other choice. Like if he wanted to keep the band going, he had to start producing the music himself. So I knew that he was fully capable of that because whenever I would bring him a song of mine and I was like, this is just stripped down acoustic. I would really love a riff. I would really love a drum fill. I would really love this or that. He'd get frustrated with himself for a second because it wasn't just a muscle that he flexed often, but then he would just throw it together and it would be great. And that was like, and I could see that, like, I was like, you hardly had to try. You were trying. I mean, you were convinced yourself you were going to fail, but like you did such a great job. So like, I think when we first started doing especially music together, he was just very like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, neither do I. And with my background, literally, sing at bluegrass festivals and be pulled up on stage with a band that I didn't rehearse with. I didn't have any kind of like, time to sit and talk with them and go over, who's going to do what break when and things like that. It was just off the cuff. So for me, there's literally no pressure whenever I'm doing music, especially hopefully that whenever we're doing music together, there's no pressure because I wing everything I do in life. But yeah, I think so. I think it was a lot of pushing. But that's okay. Sometimes people need that. And so do I. So, but just he's thriving now, just absolutely thriving in it.
Yeah. Oh, I hear compliments about you, Wes, all the time from people in the community that have worked with you and stuff. So I'm always hearing about, what a great musician you are. But I think that's such a common thing. It's like sometimes we're very afraid to try, or we have that inner dialogue that really we just struggle with. I know that for me, that's something, that I'll struggle with. I can't do that. That's not going to work out. I'm not even going to do it. It's too hard. So that's one thing I love about, talking to people like you guys and doing this show is trying to come up with ways that we can change that inner dialogue that we have and find ways to kind of support each other and help each other, try the difficult things. Because I think there's so many people out there that would do more, and accomplish more. And there's so much potential in all of us. And sometimes we're just afraid to start the thing. So I'm glad that you went out there and did that.
Yeah, me too. It feels really good now. Like looking back, it wasn't even that long ago that I started doing it. Maybe February or so. I was like, that's when it sort of everything happened. And I was like, if I want to keep doing this band, I have to write these songs myself and I can't rely on anybody. So then I just did it. And yeah, so it's not even that much time has passed, but it is nice to like look back and be like, I actually did it, like stuff just comes a lot easier for her in the go with the flow sense. And like for me, like I like to go with the flow in every other part of life, but when it comes to like creating stuff, I want to like be rehearsed and come across like professional, like I know what I'm talking about. So I didn't want to try to do something like that and be like, everyone's going to realize that I'm probably just faking it till I make it. But it ended up working. I'm glad that she helped like push me, and my brother who is in the band with me just like helped push me to do it. And then, so yeah, it's definitely rewarding now that I've done it and now I know that I can do it,
And now you can encourage other people to do it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that too, another let me restart the sentence over again. I could tell that Wes was thoroughly enjoying himself, because then he goes to me and goes, you want to start writing songs with me, like from scratch? And usually what it is I bring songs to Wes and I say, fix it, put music to it, but it's already got the bones, it's already got a structure to it, like blah, blah, blah. But we sat down at the computer a few weeks ago. This is the first time we've ever done this. We've written like silly songs together that we would never record. This is the first time we sat down and like actually structured a song and then mapped the guitar out, the lead, the rhythm, and then the bass, and we just haven't put drums to it yet, but I've already started writing lyrics to it. And that was just crazy. And I knew that Wes was starting to get in his flow of things when he was like, do you want to just start a song from scratch, what we've never done before? Because a lot of it has to do with that communication of, I don't know how to verbalize what sound I'm hearing in my head, and I don't know where the notes go or whatever, but it just went so well, I feel like.
Yeah, it's not finished yet, but it'll be fun when it's finished.
It'll be so fun.
It'll be really goofy.
It'll be silly. Yeah,
funny.
Definitely different from what I've ever done, but I think that that's what makes it kind of special.
Yeah. Well, so you guys have things that you do separately, and then, you also, I know Wes, you help her with some of her stuff, so you collaborate together. But is there ever any competitiveness?
Oh gosh. I think so.
I would have said no.
Not during, I guess if we're
Go
collaborating together, no. But I would say during our whole entire when we went to school together, we were always like, what'd you make on that test? What did you, then we went to college together and we were always comparing our grades there. And then we worked together and we would get promotions separately. And then sometimes we'd end up at the same level. And it's like, I feel like, yeah, definitely. I feel like I would never let him know this. He can't hear me if I do this. But
okay, that's right.
But I have to tread real hard to keep up. But I'm gonna heckin' do it, because I have to. Because I'm just very competitive. But I think so. But I don't think when we're collaborating together.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not all that competitive in general. I feel like I can collaborate fine.
I disagree.
But that's the answer to marriage. When you just let her win, let your wife win.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
That's true. Sometimes he does let me do that. Yeah.
All right.
But I can always tell.
You inspire each other musically, or?
Yeah. She writes like how many songs a week? Multiple songs a week. And that makes me like, how come I can't write that many songs a week? Like I still can't really write lyrics. That's the part. Like I could write all the music all day, but then when it comes to lyrics, that's where it really gets me. So to see that she can just like be like, oh, I got to go write a song real quick. And then like hardly any time passes and she's like, cool, I wrote it and recorded it. And I was like, that pushes me to want to do that, but I have not been able to yet.
Yeah, I think that I know that I could play anything if I put my mind to it hard enough, but I could never play it like Wes. I'm very lucky to have him. So yeah, I mean, he sits down on his computer, and what's the recording app that you use now?
Reaper.
Yeah, I tried to use Reaper for like 5 seconds for a song that I wrote for someone, and I thought I was gonna pull all my hair out, and Wes is just over here blah 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 whatever, and I'm just like, I can't figure out how to get the delay off of this. Like I was like, you know what? Wes was like, I can show you. I go, you keep Reaper. I'm gonna just buy a new computer and I'm gonna download what I know is compatible for it. So yeah, I think in that sense, like he can literally figure anything out. If I need it figured out, he can do it. And I think that also, I'm like, yeah, it's very inspiring to me because I just don't have the patience, I think, to do that. But he's like, no, I'm gonna get sorted. And so yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, you guys are like the perfect partnership then.
I was about to say, with
listening to about it.
Yeah, with like listening to us answer that question, I was like, it seems like we both have what the other person is lacking.
Yeah.
How have we not done more stuff is what I'm thinking.
So why are you not a thing together, like a group, a husband, wife, like duo? I mean, sold out shows. I see this in your future. Like this.
Yeah, I think, I mean,
I don't know.
We need to, we probably just need to buckle down and do more. I think we had Margot and then we slowed our roll a little bit. I got a little bit sick at the beginning of the year and I'm still healing from that. But now that she's older and we're growing into this new phase of life, that's I'm genuinely loving. I think that we should be doing more stuff. And I think that us writing that song together was just kind of that's just the starting point. And I try not to, like I said, I don't really put a lot of pressure on things, but if it's fun and it brings us joy, then I don't see why we wouldn't do it, So I think that that's something that probably we'll see more of in the nearer future than what has been.
I also think stylistically, the stuff like the style that I come from and mostly do is so wildly different than the stuff that she does that it's maybe been that's been a part of the sort of disconnect or whatever is like whenever we try to do something together, it's like our brains are in totally different universes. But whenever we finish the song that we started, I feel like it's a pretty good middle ground. Like it sort of pulls aspects of what I'm used to and aspects of what you're used to into a middle thing that neither of us have actually done before.
Yeah, absolutely. Would have never heard that song.
Like, I could write lyrics to that. A whole new musical niche where you can find like death metal and like folksy singer songwriting. Yeah. I don't know what that would sound like, but
I don't. Well, we'll find out. It's funny because he's like, what do you think about doing some songs that kind of sound like this, and would give me like examples and whatever. I'm like, I just don't think that I'm capable of writing anything even close to that. But then we started working on a song that was kind of what he described, and I was like, these lyrics came to my head, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I feel very, first of all, inspired, and also very proud of myself that that's something that he pushed me to do. Because if he didn't push me to do, I would have never known I was capable of doing that.
Yeah.
Spur of the moment thing, I think, when we did that, because we've been saying for a long time, like I've always wanted to know how to produce music myself. I just want to be able to be self-sufficient. Like I'm tired of having to rely on other people to do that stuff. I just want to be able to be at home and be like, oh, I have an idea, and then actually have the means to record it and do something with it. So I've spent the last year teaching myself how to do all that so that I can do those things. So like then we were talking like, well, now that I know how to do this and we have the equipment at the house, like we basically have a studio at the house, we can record anything here now. That I was like, we should write a song now. And then we kept talking about it and not doing anything, and talking about it and not doing anything. And then I'm pretty sure one night we
literally had to schedule it into our week because that's how ridiculous it gets here.
But then finally we were like, okay, let's go do that right now. And then once we actually finally were doing it, it was super quick. Like the riffs happened and the structure was there, and then it was like not very much time had passed, and then there was the majority skeleton of a song that she was like, well, I guess I'll go write the lyrics now. Like
Wow.
Yeah. He was having such a good time that I was like, all right, well, I think we got quite a bit done. I think it's time to go to bed. He goes, what, how could you say? I go, Wes, it's like it's 10 o'clock. I was gonna be up in like a few hours. We gotta go to bed. But it was really good and easy.
Yeah, I just get like hyper focused and excited about something, and I just don't want to stop doing it until it's all the way done.
Yes.
If it was physically possible, I would just start a project and just not stop doing it until it was complete.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that totally. You guys have a magic together. Like, seriously, I think there's something really awesome going on here. And it sounds like you guys, like, when you get into that mode, I mean, you could be a real powerhouse. I don't know. I'm excited. Now I want a whole album. No pressure. You have 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. 2 weeks.
Report
Got
back
it.
to me.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we'll do it. I think we'll do something fun, and it won't be like either of our stuff. It'll definitely be unique.
Yeah.
We'll let Margot come in on the drums for like a song, you know?
She does
She
it.
would love that.
She does it every now and then. She disappears, and I don't know where she went, and then I hear her hitting the drums, and that's how I know where she ran off to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, what are some funny moments you guys have had together while creating or competing?
Oh gosh.
Oh, I have one.
Oh wow, that was fast. Okay. I'm scared a little.
It's not maybe. Don't get your hopes up here. It's a small story. We used to do covers and videos on YouTube with her friend.
Oh yeah.
And
I've seen them.
Oh, okay, yeah. So,
I have followed her YouTube channel for like years and years.
Oh, well, you
That's so
probably
funny.
you maybe saw the one that I'm thinking of, but we did a Death Cab for Cutie song on a bridge in a park somewhere.
Yes.
This shirtless dude kept running in front of the camera. We were like just trying to play the song, and it's not like a music video where the song's pre-recorded and then we're
Yeah,
just
it was
like lip singing
live.
to it. Like we're actually playing the song on the bridge and trying to record it for real in a video. And this dude just keeps going on his hike back and forth. It was cracking me up. I was like, we're never gonna get through this song.
It looks like it was like, you know, like y'all meant to do that. Like, I don't know. It looks like a music video, you know?
Yeah, at one point, the girl that was shooting it, she was like, we're just leaving it in. We're just going to leave that in the video.
Yeah, she was so tired of reshooting that.
It became too much with how many back and forth that guy was doing. We're like, you know what? He's in the video. That's fine.
It worked well. No, I love that.
But I think it's funny because it was during that era, like my friend Jessica, who did all those videos for me, she had some really silly, fun ideas. And I'm just very fortunate that Wes is really silly and fun as well. Like when we did a Fetty Wap cover in the MTSU library, and we were literally wearing like the most ridiculous outfit. Like I was wearing some big furry vest, and I don't remember what I had you wear, but
I was just wearing
he was
like
he was playing a ukulele, and we were it was midnight. It was midnight when we were in the library, because I guess the library is open the whole time for college students. But I can't even tell you how many silly looks we got when we were doing that, because I was wearing huge aviator sunglasses, and we just looked ridiculous. But Wes always goes along with that kind of stuff. We're always doing dumb stuff, I think. Like,
y'all did one in the bathroom.
Yes, she threw a fisheye lens on, and then she was just like, let's record this song in the bathroom. And I was like, I have absolutely no idea why you would want to do that, but it sounded great. I absolutely loved it. That was actually probably one of my favorite ones that we had done.
That was really goofy.
We did another one in a parking garage, but we never released it. But that one was also really, really cool.
What was that, a Lana Del Rey song?
That was a Lana Del Rey
forgot
song.
that one never.
I love Lana Del Rey.
Yeah, we need to probably redo that.
That was another one full of drama of cars coming by to try to park.
Yeah.
And we're like, what are you doing trying to park in this parking garage?
Yeah,
we're busy.
We're busy.
There's music happening here.
We're creating.
Yes.
What's wrong with you?
I should have known.
We've done, not just even music, we've done wedding cakes together and catered events together and things like that. And there's been some really, in the moment, it's high tensions. I was doing a wedding cake, a bride and groom wedding cake. Wes was helping me, and the cake was falling apart, just absolutely falling apart. I was so stressed because we were in an area that didn't have any kitchen equipment. It was technically a kitchen. Remember that church that we went to?
Yeah.
And it was like, there was no soap to wash our hands. The cake is crumbling because it's gluten-free. And I have all of the wedding party coming in and out of this kitchen because it's like connected to a hallway where everybody gets dressed. So everybody's coming over and staring at the cake that's falling apart and things like that, which I look back at now and it cracks me up because I'm like, what a ridiculous moment. And I was put in we were put in a terrible predicament, but we faked it till we made it. We were like, icing is glue. That's what we're gonna do right now.
It's supposed
Icing is
to look
glue.
like that.
So yeah, you know
Yeah,
what?
it's rustic.
Yes.
Literally it was rustic. Well, and fortunately for us, that's what they wanted. They wanted a rustic looking cake. So
And
that's what we gave them.
It worked out.
Yeah, silly
Y'all bake
stuff
it
like that.
together?
Do what?
Y'all bake the cake together and decorate?
Yeah, well, yeah, we made all of that stuff together.
I've not heard any of these stories. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we went to culinary school together. And so Wes's strong points were always like, I guess technically I would say you can tell me if I'm wrong. This is what I think his strong points are. I think that they're making something look beautiful. Wes did a lot of the scientific stuff, like what is it called?
Molecular gastronomy.
Yeah, he liked doing that kind of stuff and making things look very pretty.
Yeah, it's like using weird science stuff to cook.
Yeah.
Stuff
But
like that. Yeah.
You to blow stuff up?
Sometimes, yeah. Like they use liquid nitrogen and like
What?
weird types of gelatin, like not gelatin, but like agar. Agar is like a gelatin that's made from algae.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. So I don't remember all the things that we made. Like in school, I think I made like pasta with Alfredo sauce, but then I made it looked like caviar, but it was little bits of red wine. And they were like, I used agar to make them look like caviar, and I put them on top of the pasta. So it kind of looked like you had caviar pasta, but then once you stirred it up, it made it like a red wine Alfredo sauce thing.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was able to make things look very pretty. And like I said, if I mess something up, then I just leaned on him to fix it. If it was visual, especially. But I think that like I would like to say that I'm very good at like palette wise and things like that. So it's like when you put us together, we have some pretty good ideas. Especially though, but we were brought up like with a little bit of different palette sense, where Wes likes a lot of like exotic fruit and things like that added into savory dishes. And I'm very like umami kind of, I love Asian cuisine and sauces and stuff like that. So, but yeah, we used to do a lot of that stuff together. I don't know. It was fun.
That feels like a whole life ago.
It does. Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago, but
No.
it feels like it was.
Yeah. So we create a lot of things, I guess, technically together. And we were painting together even earlier today, weren't we?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's so beautiful. Like
Yeah.
I love that. Well, so when you guys first met, like how long did it take you to realize that you had such a great, I guess collaborative spirit, or that you guys had something going there?
I think it took a long time.
You think so?
It took a few
You knew
years.
right away. No.
Yeah, it took a few years, I think. I think because I was more shy about it. I didn't like put myself out there.
Well, we started dating when we were almost 16. We were 15 technically. And I didn't realize the gravity of what our relationship would hold, I don't think. Because we're kids. When you're kids, you don't think about that as much. But I don't know. I was drawn to Wes immediately. I saw him when he was 12 and I was like, I think that boy is so cute. And he thought I was very strange and weird. Still probably thinks that.
Totally still think
Definitely still thinks that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My husband thinks I'm weird, so it's all good.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just I think I'm just drawn, creatives are drawn to creatives, I think. And I was definitely just drawn to him. And we had so many like similar things in our background, but also like things that we liked that were the same, cooking and music and just being funny, really. I think Wesley's humor is really what did me in. He wasn't scared to be silly, I think, and that's really what carries us to where we're at now.
Yeah. Absolutely. How do you guys balance, art and family and your family time and all the different work that you do?
Well, Wes has at least one night a week that he works on your stuff, right?
Yeah, like one night a week where I just, after we put Margot to bed, we just sort of like work on our own things. Because like it's nice to like watch movies or read or do stuff like that, but we realized that we weren't carving out any times for our own hobbies and things. So once we started doing that, it made it a lot easier. That's when I started like learning how to produce and learning how to write. And then that's when like one of those nights was the night that we started on that song, because we had already decided like this night we are doing our creative things, instead of being like, well, we could, or we could just chill out, and do nothing. We were very, very much like, we're doing that. That is what's happening, but it's hard. I mean, it's hard to fit it all in. And I wish that there was more time because, with working full time and then a band that feels full time, and then I am doing a second project on top of that, and then stuff with her, like it's a lot of stuff to fit in.
Yeah. But we just have to be, what's the word I'm looking for? We have to do it on purpose. We have to be very deliberate about it. And like I said, we have to schedule. So like, I started going to a thing with other artists and started doing co-writes, and I'll try and schedule it around the time that I know that he wants to work on his stuff with the band. And then we also need to talk about, okay, well, when can we sit down together and maybe go over some stuff that we want to do together, and maybe learn a new cover, or things like that. So it's like we have to schedule it. And we're lucky because Margot goes to bed at 7, so we're pretty lucky to have a few hours after that to do whatever we want. And I do a lot of writing for my job during her nap, so I'm very fortunate that she likes to sleep so much because that's how we schedule it right now. It's revolved around that.
Yeah, it's like playing Tetris, but all the shapes are just minutes of the day.
Yeah.
We have
That's a great way to look at it. Yeah. I know. I have so many projects going right now that I have no idea how I'm doing it all. But I think that when it's something you're passionate about, it's something that you love, that fulfills you, you're just excited to do all the things. So then you just have to fit them in those various points, and nothing feels like a chore because it's something you love,
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
That was just earlier today. We put Margaret down for a nap and she was doing something. And I was like, well, I'm going to take an hour and start working on, I had to make like playthrough guitar videos for those new songs that we were recording. So it was like just the middle of the day, like, oh, I have 1 hour, like, let's do this for an hour, and it wasn't stressful or anything like that. It's fun to get to do it, but I think that last year I would have just not done anything with that time and totally wasted it. But now I have this like different mindset this year where like whenever there's time available, I'm like, what can I do that's productive on the like creative side of life in this amount of time?
Yeah. And that's important. And that's great advice, because sometimes I know for me, it'll feel like, okay, I only have 30 minutes. That's not enough time to get started in this, because then I'll have to put it away. So I'll just do that tomorrow. I'll do it later. But that was 30 minutes that I could have accomplished something, so just even if you have only an hour or whatever, I think that's important to do that, to just go work on the thing and, not check off the boxes. I was going to say check off the boxes, but that sounds like a chore, but
it feels good to just make progress. Even if you don't complete the project right then, like it feels good to at least get some part of it done and feel like it just feels fulfilling to be like, cool, I made some progress in that today, and I'll do some more of it next time I have some time.
Success is in the doing. I truly believe that you're successful if you do, not for any response that you get or clap back or the noise after. It's in the doing and the completion
and that's
what you've set out to do.
That's a motivator, because if you don't do anything, if you sit down and watch 30 minutes of Netflix and then you feel like you wasted time, now you're discouraged about the thing that you didn't do. But if you got something done, more ideas are sparked and you're just motivated to keep going.
Yeah. And the best piece of advice that I'd ever been given is is do it every day, even if it's only 5 minutes. Flex that creative muscle, but just to do a little bit and keep that sharp, because we let that dull, and then we don't push ourselves, and then what's the point?
Yeah, and that's a great point, because sometimes things that maybe we're not sure if we can do, or we don't feel we're as good at it, or we tried something and it didn't work out well, if we keep doing it and exercise that muscle. I remember you saying that on the first episode that you were on, Jesse, and it stuck with me because I'd heard it before. And it's so true that you have to work those muscles. You have to flex those muscles, and, to continue in that, like they atrophy, or, they go stagnant if we don't use them. So that's such great advice that
Yeah.
I'm trying to, remember also.
Yeah. Yeah. I absolutely love that I have the job that I do, because it makes me just, I have to do it. I could always return a song, but I'm not going to do that, so it also makes other writing so much easier. Now I feel like I can take any prompt and write a song about it. And like I said, he was like, can you write something to this tune? And I was like, I don't think so. I don't know. And then I was like, oh, I guess I'll try. And then I was like, oh, I guess I can do it. Who knows? Maybe it's because I flexed my muscle, every single day with, not necessarily content that I would have produced otherwise,
Yeah. What are some ways or some things that you guys do to sort of to show up for each other and support each other in your art, and ways that you have found to encourage each other?
Do you have a good answer for that?
Yeah, it feels like a rather boring or like adult answer, but like offering to stay home with Margot so she can go off and do things. Like I think it was last week, 2 different nights she went out to do like an artist incubator thing and a songwriters round and stuff like that. And I just stayed home because I was like, obviously we're not going to get a babysitter. Like I'll just stay home and then you can go out and, do these things and meet these people and, that type of thing. And then she does the same, like at least once a week I have practice at the house, or if we don't have a full practice, then I am writing or something once a week at least. And then it'll like flip-flop, then she'll take care of the other things so that I have my time.
Yeah. Just being like, what needs to be filled in where, so you can do that. And then also I think providing good feedback, for each other too. Like just the other week before he took these songs to the studio, he was like, tell me what you think about this. And he played this really impressive fast drum fill. And he was like, I don't remember. You remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I was able to give my opinion on it. And it felt good to also for him to value that, that was wonderful. But I think that we support each other in that way, because I don't think Wes is going to give me a pat on the back just to give me a pat on the back, which I love. So I'm most nervous when I take my stuff to Wes or other people that I think is going to tell me the truth, because I want the truth to be great, but I also want it to be true. You know what I mean? Right. So I think that that's also very supportive, that I'll take a song to Wes and I'll be like, now tell me where it doesn't make sense. And I've changed stuff because he said, I don't understand that. And I want everybody to understand it, So if I'm getting too wordy with something or elaborate, and I need to bring it back down, or I need to shift some stuff around, he'll tell me. And I value that. And I feel very supported by that as well.
Yeah. And I do the exact same thing with the example that she was telling. Like it was the night before I went into the studio to start recording it, and I couldn't decide between how I was going to play a particular part of the song. So I played her one way and then I played her the other way. And then she said, like, this way is cooler. And I was like, cool, settled then. So then that's the way that I went with,
And I think it's also helpful. Sorry, I feel like we're answering this very long-winded.
No, go for it.
I think it's also helpful because my mind doesn't work the same way as his, or his mind doesn't work the same way as mine, that it really does get a different perspective on a song. It's not just like, oh, musician to musician. It's like, nope, don't do what you do at all in the slightest, but here's my thoughts on it, So it's like, how does that translate to someone? How does this how does this jargon translate to someone else? Is it jargon? Does it make sense? Is it coherent? You know what I mean? So I think that that's also very important.
Your partnership is a great sounding board for each other. I love that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
important.
that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Well, what is the biggest obstacle that you guys have had to overcome? Like together artistically or in anything that you have
I
had-
just think it was the communication. For me, that's my answer.
Yeah, probably. I would have thought maybe just time and being
Yeah. Ugh, that's true.
bad at scheduling time. But you're right. Like the communication thing, we were just horrible at that for a long time.
And
I
it-
would get so frustrated because
Yeah.
she was like, this is the song. And then she would try to explain it. And I just didn't understand the way that she was explaining it. And then I would get all frustrated.
Because Wes
I
likes
can't-
to be perfect like the first time. He likes that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I was
He likes
just
to be very
I was just like, I can't figure this out. And I would
Type A.
get so frustrated about it because I was like, I should understand this. I don't understand where the disconnect is. But so yeah, that was probably the biggest
Yeah.
thing, is because for a while I was like, maybe our brains just don't work together in that way. Like, so we just did our own things for a long time. But then I think it just took growing and experimenting to find out. And still, like, in my band, I write songs, the music, and my brother is the vocalist and writes the lyrics, and he thinks differently than me, but I know the way his brain works. So like when we write songs, it's a different sort of back and forth with me and him. And then I was doing that with him one night, and then the next night, me and her are writing our song, and she totally different feedback from him, and I'm still technically doing the same job. Like I'm still writing the music and then trying to get opinions from a vocalist.
Yeah.
But they're both coming at me with completely different ways of hearing the song and having notes. So that's probably, you're right. That's probably the biggest thing, is being able to decipher, like, this person speaks in this language, this person speaks in this language, and being able to, like, I don't know, break it down and understand it.
But like finding the common ground, we can do every other aspect in life together. So it's like, there shouldn't be a way that we can't communicate this.
Yeah.
We can figure this out. So I think just like taking a second and being like, oh, what am I really trying to say here? And then, just being patient, I think, through it. But I think that honestly has been the biggest. And then I guess time is a good one, because we overschedule a lot, and then we're tired and then we don't want to do anything. But yeah.
Definitely. Well, do you guys have any projects coming up that either separate or apart? That's the same thing, separate or apart.
Yeah.
I need more coffee. It's
Oh, no.
yeah. Together
Wes
or
is-
apart that you guys are working on, or
Yeah. When you want to tell them about.
Yeah, my band is putting out a new EP. I don't have a release date yet, but within a month, I'm hoping, because we have a show scheduled for October 15th as an EP release show, and we got the show scheduled, and then we went into the studio 2 weeks ago to start recording it. So I already finished recording all the music. So now we're just recording vocals, which I don't believe that they've started on it yet. I think we start on that probably next week. But
Yeah, that's exciting.
but yeah, so that'll be the first time that I will put anything out where, like, all the music is me performing it all, and then my brother is doing all of the vocals and lyrics. So that's kind of cool to be able to put that out and be like, literally, like, me and him, everything that you hear was just made by the two of us. Will be pretty fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, definitely send me something and let me know when that's out so that I can check it out.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to get it on fast track, but you know how things go. Things
Yeah.
always take longer than you expect.
Yes,
Yeah.
always.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
And we don't have a timeline for that song that we were working on yet, but just earlier today, you mentioned something about having time to, like, hey, I have time. I'm gonna finish the lyrics to that song.
Week. Yeah, I finished my work early. I don't know. We haven't thought through branding on any of that, because it's all just such a new territory for us
I
to
hadn't even thought about branding until right now. when you said
literally
that.
coming up with
All right,
that
branding
stuff.
session. I've got my pen. No, I'm kidding.
But yeah, that'll be coming out hopefully before the end of the year, I think.
Yeah, and that too, I think I'm gonna try to do all the producing it myself.
Yeah.
And that'll be another thing where, like, everything that you hear is just the two of us.
Yeah.
And I'm not even gonna have somebody else, like, mix and master or anything. I'll just do all of it, because then we can, like,
to learn from, I think.
yeah, to learn from it, and, like, but also then we can really just do whatever we want with it, and then just, like, put it out. And you don't, like I was saying before, like, you don't have to rely on sending the files out and explaining it to somebody else. You know, you just do it yourself and then see what happens. And I think that's a cool way to learn. I've done that one other time and it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Yeah. Jesse, do you have anything coming out soon? What like the song that we heard last time? And it's been a few months since
That song is finished. I just have to take it to the studio. I think I had planned on releasing a different song though before that one gets released. My goal date for that one was the end of October. So we'll see if I can hit that. Life threw me some curveballs this year. So, but I have a different one actually that I think that needs to come out before that. So, I would probably say end of October would be looking for that, but it'll just be a single. So,
well, I will buy that single. So ready.
Good, thank you. My first sale.
I want to be the first one. Okay. Don't let anybody know it's out until you send it to me. And
okay. I'll literally just text you, this is for you.
There you go. Well, before we go, what is your best advice for other artists and collaborators, especially couples working together?
What do you think?
I think we already said it, but like, just be deliberate about it and just do it, push it off, and don't be like, oh, we'll just watch a movie tonight because I'm tired and tomorrow. Do it, and then just do it no matter what.
Yeah.
Because or else it's never gonna happen. And then once you start doing it, then hopefully it gets your like juices going, and then you don't have to fight so hard to keep doing it, you know?
Yeah. Mine would probably be patient, and success is in the creation. I just think that would work all the way around, you know. If you feel good about it and you think that it's good, then it is good, and it doesn't matter after that, you know.
Yeah, that's so slogan somewhere on the show or this episode or something. Success is in the creation.
It is.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah, we often think it's in the applause, but that's not it. You know?
Okay, so yeah, I gotta write that down or something in the video. So that's, oh man, I love that. And that came up earlier today. The idea of that internal, you know, doing something that you're passionate about that's in you to do versus needing that validation.
Yeah.
And like how difficult that can be.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, you just said it perfectly.
Yeah, I struggled. I think that was like the thing I struggled the most with. And I think that that's also the thing that keeps me from creating, is thinking about the validation that I'll want from other people. And what a shame that is, because that we've been led to believe that we're only successful if other people think we're successful, but that's not true. You know, success is in the creation. And I can't remember where I read that from, but after I saw that, I was like, oh, thank goodness somebody said that, because I was doomed. I felt doomed. But
we
I'm not.
Need to hear it. We need to hear this. We need to say it out loud, and we need to hear it over and over again. And we need to tell other people, because I think we all struggle with very similar things. And it's part of encouraging each other.
Yeah, I completely agree. I love telling people about it. So glad you let me say it.
We'll just have you on like every 3 or 4 months. You just come on the show and then we'll just talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Maybe I'll learn something else by then. Who knows?
Maybe we'll get to hear another song, you know, after the next one that comes out. So
yeah, I have more. So I'm excited.
Well, where can we find you guys? What are your socials? Mine's
at Jessie Madeline, spelled a little silly, but I'll send it to you so you can see. Yeah. You want to put your band in?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it is.
Threnodian Official.
Threnodian _official.
Yeah.
Threnodian THRENODIAN.
Yeah.
It's a made-up word. So if you look up Threnodian, you won't find anything but us.
We added to the Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
Let's add it in there.
Yeah.
Remember when Urban Dictionary was like a big thing?
Yeah.
I love Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
Teaches me everything I need to know.
Got all kinds of great stuff in there. And then it's got some scary stuff in there too. You're like, wait, what is that? I don't know. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
My Facebook memory recently was of a day that we all were looking up each other's names and seeing what your name meant on Urban Dictionary. I can't remember what they were now, but obviously they were all ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I know what I'm doing after the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for coming on. And oh my goodness, best wishes in all the collaborations, because I think you guys have some big things coming up.
Thank you so much for having us. What a risk. You took such a risk.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I'm so worried too. No, I'm kidding. I may have needed more coffee, right?
Yeah.
Always need more.
Always need more coffee. Well, you guys have a great evening, and hopefully we'll get to hear some new music soon, and
Yeah.
everybody needs to go follow you.
Yes.
For sure.
Thank you.